live on YouTube, live on Rumble. Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about what happened to date throughout the annals of recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for an important and interesting events, happenings, whatever, but to possibly even answer questions you don't know you have. The sources of this information come from the website onthisday.com and the Smart Applications historical calendar and Today in History. Welcome to the show, Ghost. How you doing? For links to these sources and anything else potentially interesting, please check the underbar of the description below. And as usual, all links gathered throughout the show will appear post live stream. Anyway, what's up, Ghost? How you doing today?
All is good. I'm just kind of doing like lunch break stuff.
Lunch break.
Yep.
Nice. Well, I appreciate you choosing us as your destination for your lunch entertainment. Thank you. So, anyway, I am Eozander, and as we've established here, Ghost is now in the live studio audience. And of course, you viewer are you, whether you're watching us live or at some point in the space-time continuum. You know, as I said to Ghost, I'll say to all of you, your patronage is very much appreciated. Anyway, today is, what is today? Tears' Day, aka Tuesday, January 10th, 2024. Anyway, starting us off, in 490, or in 49 BC, Julius Caesar defied the Roman Senate and crossed the Rubicon, uttering Alia Iacta Est, which means the die is cast. And yes, if anybody, you know, knows about AIE in World of Warcraft, I was in that guild for a little while, but, you know, yeah, that's what they're talking about. The die is cast. It's a geek thing, but you know, Alia Iacta Est. Anyway, this event here signaled the start of the Civil War and his his appointment as Roman dictator for life. So this is when Julius Caesar got his start, and we all know how he got his end with, what was it, 37 knives or something, you know. So he was doing Gaddafi stuff before Gaddafi was. So yeah, I guess he's like the hipster Gaddafi ? Anyway. We're going to go up into the year 9, and this is not on the main source here. So the Western Han Dynasty ended when Wang Mang claimed that the divine mandate of heaven called for the end of the dynasty and the beginning of his own, the Zhen Dynasty. Oh, how convenient, you know. Oh, you know, this vote, God wills it. They want me to be the leader now. Oh, wow, how nice. Anyway, moving on up 60 years to the year 69. That's a good year. Roman Emperor Galba adopted Marcus Piso Licinius as Caesar. Huh. Okay. Which means emperor. Like, I got this from another source. It says the same thing in a different way. So anyway, moving on up to 236, Saint Fabian began his reign as Catholic Pope, and he was the 20th Pope of Rome. So, yeah. 1072, Robert Guiscard conquered Palermo in Sicily for the Normans. So the Normans being, I believe, the Normandy, so France. So the French essentially conquered Sicily, which, as we know, is part of Italy. And if you actually look at Italy on the map, Italy is shaped like a boot, and, you know, they do really enjoy soccer, or as they call football, and Sicily is like a deflated football. It's almost as if Italy and Sicily is like the physical manifestation of Tom Brady with his deflated football kick. So, yeah. Anyway, 1072, we got that one. At 1430, Philip the Good, the Duke of Burgundy, established the Order of the Golden Fleece, the most prestigious, exclusive, and expensive order of chivalry in the world. Ooh la la. It was founded in Bruges in celebration of the prosperous and wealthy domains. And In Bruges is a good movie, by the way. One of my former, I would like to be friends with him again, Carrera, introduced me into that movie, and it's a good movie. So, yeah. Then 1430 as well, Order of the Guilder forms. I'm not sure. I think that might be the same thing as this Golden Fleece. So, I think it is. You know, let's just look this up here really quick. Order of the Guilder. Like, I'm gonna say it is. Okay, well, it just says Order of the Guilder. So, Order of the Golden Fleece. Let's see here. To celebrate the marriage to Isabella of Portugal. Today, 2 branches of the order exist. Oh, wow, it's still around. Namely, the Spanish and the Austrian Fleece. The current Grand Masters are King Philip, yada yada. So, okay, so this is something that's still around today. So, alright, Order of the Golden Fleece. If anybody wants to read more on that, this Wikipedia will be posted post-live stream, as I said, to get you started on that rabbit hole if you need a springboard. 1473, Stephen III of Moldavia defeated the Ottoman Empire at the Battle of Vasuli. Okay. Okay, and this is 1473. This is not even on here, so this is out of source here. Now wait a minute, hold on a second. I have 1475 and 1473 of the same article. Okay. When did this happen then? I'm just gonna do a surface level scratch of this full article to see if I can figure out what actual years. 1475. Okay, so let me get rid of that. So there we go. So it wasn't 1473, it was 1475. All right. 1514. How the fuck? Completonician? Oh god, how do I pronounce this? Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to do what's called a pro gamer move, and I'm going to, let's see here, post this in general, and then I'm going to have it speak.
A. Said Complutensian.
Complutensian. Let me say that again.
A. Said Complutensian.
Complutensian, whatever that means. Okay. Let's see what that actually means. Complutensian. Piaget Bible. Okay, so I guess this is religious. Complutensian New Testament in Hebrew, Aramaic, Greek, and Latin was finished. Okay. So I guess that's what this is. Complutensian Bible. Yeah, here's a link to that. Like, that's a whole thing. 1645, Archbishop William Laud was beheaded for treason at the Tower of London. Yikes. Okay, well, you know, treason, treason things. 1776, speaking of treason, during the American Revolution, Thomas Paine publishes pamphlet Common Sense, advocating American independence. Hell yes. You know, so we all know about the term common sense is not so common and all that stuff, but where did it originate? I believe this is where it came from. It's common sense that we had to separate from our British overlords, you know, because, like, I've had discussions all my life, you know, with my dad about this, like, as far back as, like, I was 8 years old, like, you know, I knew even back then that our government, you know, like, we needed something new. And my dad always asked the question, replace it with what? And he's like, well, you know, the founding fathers knew what they did, you know, that they wanted. No, they didn't. You know, as a historian now, I can, you know, now clap back to that question and be like, I don't know what I want, but I do know I cannot live with this boot on my throat anymore. And it took them 10 years to figure out, you know, to make it the United States. We got rid of, you know, our oppressors, you know, the Brits. And it took 10 some odd years to figure out. We were very close to going back to being 13 independent colonies. Very close. You know, the very idea of an overlord government, of a federal umbrella, was very risky for the exact reasons why we're living today. It got too big. You know, as it said in the movie The Patriot, why should I change one tyrant 3,000 miles away for 3,000 tyrants 1 mile away? Which he's referring to as Congress and the House and all that whatnot. But anyway, moving on up to 1801, William Henry Harrison was appointed as the first governor of the Indiana Territory. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then 5 years later, the Dutch in Cape Town surrendered to the British. All right, so Cape Town, South Africa, I think. Yeah, like this is about 100 years before the Boer Wars. So, yeah, I think. 1811, Louisiana slaves rebelled in 2 parishes, St. Charles and St. John's. Huh. Well, you know, I'm all for, you know, slave revolts, you know, like, viva la resistance, you know, all independence, freedom, we'll do it. 1812, the first steamboat on the Ohio River of the Mississippi River arrived in New Orleans 82 days after departing from Pittsburgh. Okay, that's pretty cool. So the first steamboat on the Ohio River. Answer questions you don't even know you have. When was the first steamboat on the Ohio River? Well, now you know. 1861, during the Civil War, Florida became the 3rd state to secede from the Union. Florida! I was just talking to a Florida man, like, literally 10 minutes ago. Like, and I think he might be watching on YouTube right now. Yes, there he is! Hey! Pete! Hello! Let's see, what else do we have? Also, during the Civil War, Fort Jackson and Fort Phillip were taken over by, I think, Louisiana state troops. Because that's not Los Angeles. I mean, even though California is geographically in the south, California as an entity was actually part of the Union, and we helped them in the Civil War, but we didn't really like do much stuff. Castro! I have both Jacobs now. Awesome. We have Jacob and Jacob. You know, so as like Marley and Marley, you know, from the Muppets Christmas Carol, there are 2 Jacob Marleys. So, yeah. Oh, he is streaming on YouTube. Yeah, I am. Oh, there he is. Oh, hey, both Jacobs now. Hey, we got both of you together in the same room. So, what was the quote from Spider-Man? We have 2 of you geniuses in here. So, 1861, U.S. forts and property were seized by Mississippi. More Civil War stuff. And then we also have Battle of Big Sandy River in Kentucky, Middle Creek. All right. And during the Romney expedition in 1862, Confederate Army military expedition begins in Romney, West Virginia. Some more Civil War stuff. 1863, we have, is this even on here? No, it's not. Well, we have the first underground railway opens in London. I gotta do some research writing again. Like, I'm getting too complacent. I'm gonna stick to the script here today. 1863, General McClellan's Union troops surround Fort Hidman in Arkansas. So that's just like, you know, a bunch of like Civil War, you know, stuff that's, you know, in my opinion, it's like, okay, whatever, it doesn't really, you know, belong on the show because it's just whatever, but let me just add this here to 1863 just to get it done. The first underground railway opened in London, you know, the Great Metro, you know, this is, I think that's the very first ever, period, because I think London did have the first underground operating rail system and whatnot. 1863, the January Uprising began in Poland. What is the January Uprising? Is this some kind of communist thing? Well, this was well before communism, so let's see here. It was an insurrection principally in Russia's Kingdom of Poland that was aimed at putting an end to Russian occupation as part of Poland and regaining independence. So Poland has always been like under the foot, you know. Let me add this into the thing here. January Uprising. So there we go. What else do we got here? 1870, John D. Rockefeller incorporated Standard Oil. Yes, he created 30%. His brother and other business partners then controlled about 10% of the world's oil. Holy crap! That is, like, I gotta add that in here really quick. So, just override this because it has more information. But yeah, no, we all know about the Rockefellers, you know, like, business moguls and whatnot. Like, yeah, you know, on one hand, yeah, you know, they did provide a lot of jobs, but on the other hand, they had monopolies, and you know, they took control of the direction of this country, you know. So there's a give and take, and I think that they took more than they gave, to be honest. 1878, the U.S. Senate, the U.S. Senate proposed female suffrage. Hell yes! Let me give a cheer for that. So as far back as 1878, they were talking about giving women the right to vote. Now, keep in mind, like, when everything was first starting, voting rights, it wasn't because men were men. Men got voting rights because they owned property, and by extension, if a woman owned property, they had voting rights too. It had nothing to do with what was between your legs, you know? It was just, you own you literally own a portion of this country, well then you have a say in it. So, you know, and I think we should probably bring that back. But then again, you know, that would just give an opening for all of these, like, mega corporations to buy up all the land that they're already doing and just squeeze us out of the equation, and then we turn into a frickin', like, legitimately, you know, corporate dictatorship of a nation. So, I gotta watch what I say. Anyway, moving on up into 1883, fire at uninsured Newhall Hotel in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Hey, that's where Alice is from. Killed 71 people. General Tom Thumb of P.T. Barnum fame escaped unhurt. So Tom Thumb was a circus little person, as they're called today. But that's why he had the name Tom Thumb. And good, he survived the flames. Probably was short enough to not really inhale too much smoke, actually, really. Moving on up to 1897, Ukrainian bacteriologist Wadimir Havkin performed the first human trial for a vaccine for the plague on himself during the Bombay epidemic. And, you know, like, a lot of major groundbreaking, you know, things have happened in the world of science and technology by people experimenting on themselves you know, just out of desperation because they have no other thing. Like the way human digestion was figured out was after some surgeon, like, he had gotten shot in the stomach, and like there was an opening into his stomach, and he actually did experimentations on himself after he ate food. He like, you know, poked his finger in there and like figured out, okay, it's digesting and everything, and like, you know, like there's a lot of examples of people, you know, using themselves as guinea pigs for scientific research and stuff. Like, and what better way to prove things than do things to yourself? So let's see what's going on in chat here. Nightmares are a type of dream, so that is true. You know, Pete has a point with that. Like, nightmares are, you know, parts of like, you know, like I've always wondered, you know, that, like, why do we call dreams dreams? Because, like, you know, it's dreams and nightmares are the same thing, but they're two drastically different things, but they're in the same headspace side kind of thing. Like, is there a sweeping word for what a dream and a nightmare is? Like, they are a nocturnal subconscious, like, activity, but a dream is mostly good and a nightmare is obviously bad. So I wonder if there's like an umbrella term for that specific type of brain activity, you know? Doesn't matter if it's good or bad, but you know what it is, you know what I'm saying? Moving on up to the 1900s, in 1901, the first Great Texas oil gusher was discovered at Spindletop and Beaumont, Tejas, marking the start of the Texas oil boom, the Gusher Age. Ooh, yeah, here we go. And it's not even on here, is it? Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, so this was, yeah, that's the same, well, that's a little less than what I just read. But yeah, started the Gusher Age. While that was going on in New York, the Automobile Club of America installed signs on major highways. Yeah. Is that AAA? No, is that insurance? AAA is insurance, right? No, AAA is Automobile Association of America, so I think that's what this is now. Or is the ACA a different thing? You know what? Let me just look this up here really quick. Let's see if AAA comes up when I look for this. Yep, it does. So yeah, this is the predecessor to the AAA. All right. And yeah, like, you know, highway signs and all that stuff. Like, I just recently saw a video. You know, here we go with my catchphrase again. I recently saw a video about how big these signs are and everything. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see here. Sign. Okay, not that. Not that. Okay, well, I'm not seeing it. Oh well. Anyway, moving on up to 1902. Gusher, I should call her. Wow, okay. Liquor, I don't even know her. Well, I can't believe I said that on air. Anyway, 1902, although it has professed neutrality in the Boer War, here we go, talking about the Boer Wars again, German Chancellor von Bülow joined others in attacking British actions in South Africa. Yeah, you know, a lot of stuff happening, you know, with colonies and everything, and like after the Second World War, we're just like, the whole world is like, okay, enough of this colony bullshit, you have your country, and that's it. Everybody else is independent or whatever. Even though, you know, the United States owns colonies technically in Puerto Rico and the Philippines and whatnot, and by technicality, Canada still answers to the British Crown. They're not completely, totally, fully independent like Australia and New Zealand is. But yeah. Anyway, moving on up to 1911, we have the first photo in the U.S. taken from airplane San Diego. Ooh, so let's see here. Let's look this up. I think I remember looking this up last year and the year before that. Let me get some images. So this is the first, yeah, here we go. This is the first aerial photograph taken. Sorry, it's so small. Let's see if I can bigger it. Nope, that's as big as it's gonna get. So, yeah, okay, that's it. Cool. Anyway, 1912, Cailleaux's government in France resigns. Okay. And while that was going on, we have the world's first flying boats made in flight, the Glenn Curtiss in New York. Ooh. So the first flying boat. Okay. Like, so like a water landing and all that stuff. Where's Bradley? He's an aircraft enthusiast. He'd get a kick out of that. 1914, Yuan Xinkai, president of the new Chinese Republic, dissolved parliament and prepared a constitution of his own design. How convenient. He will set himself up as a dictator, preparatory to an attempt to make himself emperor. Oh, how typical. 1916, during the First World War, Imperial Russia began the Yesteryear offensive, leading to the defeat of the Ottoman Empire's Third Army. Yes. 1916 as well, in retaliation for President Woodrow Wilson's recognition of Mexico's Carranza government, members of Pancho Villa's Revolutionary Army took 17 U.S. mining engineers from a train and shot 16 of them in cold blood. Holy, Wilson was a piece of crap anyway, so, he has blood on his hands as far as I'm concerned with that, yikes. Anyway, in 1917 as well, suffragists in the Silent Sentinels first protested outside the White House in Washington, led by Alice Paul and the National Women's Party. All right. Once again, we're talking about female suffrage. We just talked about it, what was it, 1868 or whatever it was? 1800 something. And then 1920, the Treaty of Versailles took effect, officially ending World War I for all combatant nations except the United States. Oh, well, that's convenient. We're the only ones still technically in combat. I thought the war ended on the 11th hour of the 11th day on the 11th month. November 11th, 1918. But apparently not. But anyway, 1920 as well. Castro, I bet it's a long story. League of Nations Covenant automatically entered into force after the Treaty of Versailles was ratified in Germany. Inauguration of the League of Nations was held in Paris. And as a lot of people know, the League of Nations is a predecessor to the United Nations. And trigger warning to good old Pete's there. I mentioned the UN, and he's like, oh, let me tell you a thing or two about the UN. They suck! I agree. 1923, last U.S. troops left the Rhineland, Germany, so that's after, we dissolved Germany and really gave them a big kick in the teeth. Honestly, way more than they deserved, after the First World War, and all we did was give Hitler ammo to start another one. 1923, Lithuania seized and annexed the country of Memel. That's not nice. And 2 years later, 1925, Miriam Ma Ferguson was sworn in as the governor of Texas, the second U.S. woman governor, and the first ever elected. Okay. So, and just yesterday or the other day, or sometime recently, we covered the first woman in some kind of seat, some governmental position. I don't remember exactly how. And by technicality, she was the first one actually voted in, not taking over in her husband's stead. So, the first one actually chosen by the people. So, yeah. 1927, Fritz Lang's silent futuristic film Metropolis was released in Germany, and I have that on my docket. I gotta watch that, but unfortunately it's only in Deutsch, which is German. And I don't think they have a translated one to English, and I really don't like watching movies with subtitles because, then my eyes are doing this. I am not a chameleon. I want to focus on the movie and know what they're saying, so I can never watch anime unless it's dubbed, unfortunately. 1928, the Soviet Union ordered exile of Leon Trotsky. We were just talking about that. I was literally just talking about that with Pete's. I keep getting the Jacobs confused. Just talking about that with Pete's, about Stalin and Trotsky after the death of Lenin and all that stuff. And we were talking about Che Guevara and all that whatnot. Wow, that's kind of incredibly topical. There was a helicopter crash in Somalia. Hold on, let me look this up here really quick. Helicopter crash Somalia. Let's see here. News. Give me some news. Somalia militants kill one after UN chopper crash. Whoa. Okay. Well, something's happening over there, guys. Go check it out after this show, of course. Wow. Al-Shabaab. Well, history happens every day. And, news today is history tomorrow. So, yeah. Getting back into the history here, 1932, Mickey Mouse and Silly Symphony comics were syndicated. And that was 32, yeah, right here. So, and yeah, as we know, since the Steamboat Willie thing has come out into public domain, a lot of people have been realizing that Mickey Mouse IP was actually stolen by somebody else. Or from somebody else. Not by, but stolen from somebody else. So, Disney, at the very beginning, has been nothing but plagiarism. If you look at The Lion King, that's just stolen from the 1932 anime Kim of the White Lion. You know, look at Pocahontas. That's based off a real story. Look at the Cinderella. That's a fairy tale. Does Disney actually have any legitimate, original intellectual property? Or have they been stealing since the beginning? Because I didn't know that they were that bad since the very beginning. I know where they're at today. But have they always been like a steaming pile of cess? Like, since the start? It looks like it. So, anyway, moving on up to 1941. Seyss Inquart began registration of Jews. This has to be, you know, Germany here. So, yeah, what is Seyss Inquart? Let's look that up here really quick. Alright. Arthur Seyss Inquart. So it's a guy. Okay, yeah, Austrian Nazi politician. Okay, yeah, okay, there we go. So this guy began registration of Jews. There we go again. Also in 1941, during the Second World War, the Greek army captured Kilisura, wherever that is. Where is that? Let's see here. Kilisura. Let's get an image of this. Let's see. Okay, well, give me a map. Okay. Where could this possibly be? Well, it's still in Greece, so they've held it. 1942, Japan invaded North Celebes in the Dutch East Indies. Ooh. So, wow. 1943, Soviet offensive against German 6th and 4th armies near Stalingrad. Yeah, the Battle of Stalingrad. Very major thing right there. Ooh, what is this? Oh, nifty shit. 1943, the first U.S. president to visit a foreign country in wartime, FDR left for Casablanca, Morocco. That is nifty shit. Look at that. Pretty cool. That is pretty cool. The first president to visit a foreign country in wartime, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. All right. And I know I'm probably triggering the Pete's yet again. Like, you know, oh, like FDR, evil. Like, and my dad says the same thing. You know, and you know, I can't say anything against it. I mean, like, he had 4 terms. They had to redo the whole thing, how we handle presidency and term limits and all that whatnot. And like his New Deal and, you know, all of his progressive policies, and like, I don't really know much about it, so I'm probably talking out of my ass. And, you know, I'd really love Pete's one day to be on the show. We can have a discussion about this, like, to educate me more about FDR and why he was a bad president. But honestly, like, I'm not, you know, I don't want to say he was a good president, but I want to say he did. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought you'd say, Pete. But yeah, like, he did help the nation, I think. Like, but, you know, I'm just looking at it through, you know, one perspective. So like, I need a lot more information about it. Anyway, we're gonna move on up into 1944. British troops conquered Mangdao in Burma. Okay. 1946, the first General Assembly of the United Nations assembled in the Methodist Central Hall in Westminster, London. 51 nations were represented. Here we go again with the UN. And while that was going on in 1946 as well, the United States Army Signal Corps successfully conducted Project Diana, bouncing radio waves off the moon and receiving the reflected signals in Fort Monmouth, New Jersey. Wow! Wow! That is incredible! We're bouncing shit off the moon. It takes 4 days of travel to get to the moon physically. But, I mean, you know, the speed of sound and light, radio waves travel a lot faster, so it only takes, what, a couple minutes or something? You know, how long does it take? How long does it take to bounce a signal off the moon? Alright, let's see this here. Okay, it's not telling. Here we go. Bouncing signals off the moon. Okay, it's a hobby, yada yada yada. But how long does it take? Oh, the round trip propagation time is about 2.5 seconds or so. Wow, that is very fast. Yo, welcome MTM. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Sorry for my tardiness to broadcast
no, that's all right.
today.
Yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about the first time they were bouncing signals off the moon. Or at least not the first time, but at least a documented time. And apparently it takes 2.5 seconds, give or take, to bounce a radio signal off the moon and have it come back. That's really quick. So,
Yeah.
But hey, now that you're back, do you want to read off a couple articles or anything?
Sure.
All right, where are we? British, is it even in here? Here we go.
1947. British stop ships, independence and ingathering from landing in Israel.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, and at the very beginning, everybody was like really not for Israel, and then something switched on a dime, and like now everybody's like, you know, Israel's a little bitch. It seems like, I don't know, like, yeah. But what else do we got here?
That's not a conversation to have on YouTube.
Well, I mean, I'm not getting into it, but like, you know,
No,
hey,
yeah, I get you.
like,
I know what you mean.
but
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
like, you
yeah.
know, like if somebody finds what I have to say offensive, then so be it. Then talk to me. Open a dialogue. You want to battle me on what I have to say? Then fine. Prove me wrong. I welcome it. You know, don't cancel me.
Limiting your views.
Re-educate me, if anything. You know, like, so. I'm giving my opposition an in to talk to me. You know, don't just shut me down. You know, talk to me. I am persuasive. You know, like, so, or like, I am persuadable too. Like, you know, like I'm a very liquid person, I guess. You know me.
I do.
Yeah. But what
Moving
else?
on up here.
Yeah.
You want to get this Greek streamer Himara, or Greek steamer, excuse me.
Well,
Himara.
they were streaming back in
They didn't have streamers
1947.
back
Holy
then,
shit!
yeah. Unless you were doing like some work with like a stream, like a literal stream of water. Greek steamer Himara strikes a wartime mine in the Saronic Gulf south of Athens with loss of 392 of 637 aboard.
Wow.
Brawl.
Wow, that's awful. So, I mean, like, you know, this is why I always say, like, you know, war is awful, you know, and because not just because of, you know, when it happens at the time, but then we have the stuff out in the aftermath, all the veterans, all the people missing limbs, all the fatherless children, you know, all the husbandless wives, like, you know, like, and then now with explosives, like, how many landmines are still in Vietnam? You know, like, we're still getting kids randomly blowing their legs off and stuff out there today. Like, it's awful, you know? So, oh, here we go. This is a cheese article. Here we go.
Oh boy, the first Jewish family show Goldbergs premieres on CBS in 1949. Oh, it was such a great program. I'm so glad they remade it too. They made another version too just recently. Oh, it was so wonderful.
Oh my god. To quote Bradley, Jewish man.
Sometimes I like to watch it when I'm eating my TV dinner, but not all the time because it gives me gas.
Oh my god. Okay, Kyle. Well, let's have you read another couple more if that's cool with you. I've been talking like all the time.
Richard's second goal scorer. 1951, Maurice Richards scores his 16th career hat trick in the Montreal Canadiens. That's how you say that. 3-0. 3-0 over New York Rangers to bring his career total to 274 goals, and passes the Howie Moretz as NHL's second all-time leading scorer. Yeah, that's why these teams are called what do you call it? There's a difference between like a national team and a major league.
Like...
Well, the MLB is the major
leagues, yes.
Baseball,
and then there's amateur leagues.
Because there's Canadian teams, yeah, and then this is the national team.
Yeah, is there still an amateur league in baseball and stuff, or did they completely fold? Because I know there's college and then there's major leagues. So.
Yeah, I think they're still college teams. The only people that are really watching them are like people that are like really, really into it, or recruiters looking for the next best player. You know?
Yeah. Yep. What else do we got here?
The Greatest Show on Earth. Directed by Cecil B. DeMille, starring James Stewart and Charlton Heston, premieres in New York and wins Best Picture in 1953. This was in 1952, though, that it premiered.
Yeah. Charlton Heston, that's a name that's in my brain. So. But what else do we got here? Moving on up to 1954. Let's see here. This one.
Comet jet airliner crashes in the Mediterranean. 35 people are missing.
That's not good. I hope they found them. So. And then
hopefully that's still missing. It's a long time to be missing.
Yeah.
1956. Elvis Presley records single "Heartbreak Hotel," written by Mae Bourne Axton and Tommy Durden at the RCA Studios in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville. Yeah. All right. I'm going to take the reins here for a little bit.
Go ahead.
1957, after Anthony Iden's resignation, Harold Macmillan became Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Okay. 1962, eruptions. I was trying to say eruptions. Wow, I was having a brain fart there. Eruptions on Mount Huascaran in Peru destroyed 7 villages and killed 3,500 people. Wow. Yikes.
Big boom.
Yeah, that's not good. And 1964, battles between Muslims and Hindus in Calcutta. Ay. And didn't the Arabic religion, not Arabic, Arabic's people, didn't the Muslim religion come out of India? Like...
No, Islam is from Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
But it's become so popular that people in India practice it, and then they have disputes with Hindu practitioners.
Islam. I keep forgetting. Like, where is Islam originated? You said
Mecca.
Saudi Arabia.
Mecca, Medina.
Mecca. Oh, yeah, that makes Mecca. Yeah, you're Mecca.
Mecca and Medina at the start of the 7th century. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, the Hajj. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the Hajj.
Yeah.
Which has actually become like a crazy capital investment for Saudi Arabia, and because people will take pilgrimages to the Hajj, but it's so everyone wants to do it, so people have like the Saudi Arabian people have monetized it so much with hotels and expensive
so it's basically like
architecture around the
taking
thing.
advantage of
Yeah.
tourism. It's like Disneyland,
Honestly,
but
yeah.
not family friendly.
It's estimated that it costs almost like 10,000 American to take a pilgrimage to the Hajj now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people people make fun of Jews for that religion being the money revolving around. Okay. I don't see any Christians or anybody else spending $10,000 on any religious things, so that's an eyebrow raiser right there.
You have anything else in the script before we go to 1958 here?
58. We're past 58.
Oh, sorry.
We're in
Great Balls of Fire reaching #1 on the UK pop charts.
Oh my goodness! I as I said, I fucked up. I didn't research right yesterday, and we're skipping over things that. Oops, I did not mean to copy that. Damn it. Okay, calm down, Xander. There we go. Okay, gotta do things one step at a time. Slow and steady. There we go. Good, Xander. All right. But go read that again, please.
In 1958, Jerry Lee Lewis's Great Balls of Fire reaches #1 on the UK pop charts.
It's like Disney either IEDs. Wow. Well, if you talk about the human landmines that they put around, like all over the place with the homelessness, and I guess you have a point there, Pete. But goodness gracious, Great Balls of Fire. But no. But let's we got another 64 here. And since we're back to you, do you want to take this?
Panama severs diplomatic relations with the U.S.
And that has got to do with the Panamanian dictator at the time, whatever his name was. Like, we were essentially like allowing him, carte blanche to do whatever as long as we kept, control over the canal. So, and here we go. Well, this is an interesting name for a record label.
VJ Records releases Introducing the Beatles. The Beatles' first album was released in 1964. Wow.
Yeah. Really cool.
It's pretty cool that they made such a drastic shift from like power pop to radical psychedelic music in about 5 years. Yeah.
Now, was it you or I was talking with somebody a couple days ago that they said that the Beatles actually invented rock and roll? Like, because it wasn't Rock Around the Clock, it was something else, or no, it wasn't Let Us Rock Baby Rock, Roll Baby Roll is accredited as the first rock and roll song, but there's some songs of the Beatles that
their earlier stuff was almost like swing music, and then it kind of merged into rock and roll, like Twist and Shout, Hold Me Tight.
And do the twist. Yeah. I gotta stand up now. I gotta dance. So.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, baby, now. Da, 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 da. You know you wanna
Do
go.
a twist.
Twist and shout.
Yeah, skirt, yeah. Sorry, I got into a mood.
You're good.
Anyway, let's move on up here. This one.
The Georgia House of Representatives votes 184 to 12 to deny Julian Bond his seat as a result of opposition to the Vietnam War. Wow.
Huh.
That is some ridiculous cuckery right there.
That's some warmongering bullshit right there.
Yeah.
Like,
Warmongering cuckery.
Yeah. But what else do we got here? Actually, is this even in here? No, it's not. So off of main source, we have in 66 as well, the Tashkent Declaration, a peace agreement between India and Pakistan, was signed that resolved the Indo-Pakistani War of 1965. Why is that? Oh, yeah, it is right here. Okay. So, but they didn't get into the detail that I just read. So, that's a pretty big, you know? Like, India and Pakistan are always at each other's throats. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, for years. Yeah,
yeah.
Unfortunately.
So, my bad, that was not off main source, so let's hand the microphone back to you, Mr. MTM.
1967. Brooke takes the U.S. Senate seat. Edward W. Brooke, Senator Republican of Massachusetts, takes his seat as the first popularly elected African American to the U.S. Senate. Wow.
Oh, so a black U.S. citizen. Well, yeah. I don't know. Once again, I don't know why they want to segregate themselves, but whatever. You know, why can't they just call themselves American? You know, simple as that. But Pete's here made a comment. When we had the military incursion down in Panama, it was one of the first uses of the Vulcan Air Defense System, VADS, for convoy defense. Oh, is that the R2-D2 thing? Like, the VADS. Hold on. I think I know what VADS is. Hold on a second. VADS. No, that's, okay. Vulcan Air Defense System. Yeah, I thought so. It was, actually, this is not the R2-D2 turret, but this is the chain gun thing. Huh. Alright. What else do we got here? 1968.
Oh, I want to do this PBS one.
Ooh, okay.
The 1967, the PBS, the National Education TV, begins as a 70-station network.
Ooh, that's a lot of stations.
Public broadcasting service. You gotta have it, bro. Gotta have it.
Yep. Ooh, speaking of public broadcasting, check this out.
Yeah. Ooh, a year before this, in 1968, the U.S. Surveyor 7 lands near the lunar crater Tycho. Interesting. Survey those craters. And 1969, pirate radio station Free Derby begins operation by Northern Ireland. Great movie about that. I think it's called.
Did you hear me blow my nose on camera? I'm sorry.
I did not know you have.
Okay, good. So, hold on a second. I'm sneezing right now. So,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Alrighty. 1969, Sweden is the first Western country to recognize North Vietnam.
Oh, wow.
And then, same year, USSR's Venera 6 launched a parachute landing on Venus.
Venus.
Launched
I'm your Venus, I'm your fire, your desire. Sorry. Like, the things that pop into my head at random, like, I have no control over it. Oh, here we go. Pete's here says 20 millimeter at 4,000 rounds per minute was found to be very effective against soft targets at wood. I'm thinking of the phalanx. Yeah, I was. Pete's is the military guy, so he's one of our resident. I don't want to say gun nut because that sounds derogatory. I say it with all the respect I can possibly give because, like, I like guns too. So yeah. But speaking of Florida, 1970 here, Preview Center opened at Walt Disney World in Florida, the first building to open, and this is when it starts. Here we go. So, but we also have in 1971, Irish Republican Army, the IRA, carry out a punishment attack, tarring and feathering 4 men accused of criminal activities in Belfast. We got to bring that back. Why is tarring and feathering not, a thing anymore these days? That's the best thing. Like,
oh man, yeah.
You don't agree with a politician? Okay, well, like, you know, you don't have to shoot them. You don't have to plan a elaborate orchestrated kidnapping or anything. Just throw some tar and feathers on them, you know, like...
So,
like
there's well, it's interesting. There's, you know, we have this amendment that says, I forget which number it is, but it's the, prevents cruel and unusual punishment.
Peach would
right?
know, so he's going to tell us in here in any moment.
I forget what number it is, but it prevents cruel and unusual punishment, so you have to make the punishment fit the crime. And there's this judge I heard about who doesn't sentence people to tar and feathering, but if you get like in trouble for a like a misdemeanor crime, like a parking ticket or a traffic violation, he sentences you to like you have to like wear a chicken suit and hold up a sign that says I don't know how to drive or something, or I got a parking ticket on this day, and like stand on the corner for like several hours or something, and you don't have to pay the fine. Yeah,
I like that idea. And by the way, to answer your question, it was the 8th Amendment. Pete's gone through. Yeah. Like Pete knows a thing or two about laws, about guns, about many things. He is a wealth of information, and I am very happy to know him. So,
I'll see if I can find that a link to that story about the judge.
That's really funny. But that reminds me, like, speaking of cruel and unusual punishments, remember that article? I don't remember if it was a history show or something, but remember a while ago, like there was an article I read about how some, like, as punishment for poaching, like because he was going around like killing a bunch of deer and everything, like he was poaching deer. As punishments, they had him watch Bambi on repeat for an entire year straight. Like that is cruel and unusual punishment right there. Like
that's pretty.
That's hilarious, but it's also what the hell, you know? Like
Their chicken soup judge is in Ohio. Do you want his name?
The chicken soup judge. In Ohio. Only in Ohio would some wacky shit like that happen, yeah.
Yeah, leave it to Ohio, you know?
Bruh must be from Ohio.
Anyway,
Says
1972 here, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman returned to the newly independent Bangladesh as president after spending over 9 months in prison in Pakistan. Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
And then 72, also George Harrison and Friends triple live album set, the concert for Bangladesh released in UK. Yeah, so after this was like the time the Beatles split up, right after, like Abbey Road was their last album because they released this album called Magical Mystery Tour, or as some Beatles fans call it, Magical Shittery Tour. Because
if you want to talk Beatles, talk to Creek. He is a Beatles nut.
Everyone hated that, like big Beatles fans and the Beatles themselves actually hated that album, and they were like, we can't have this be our last album. Like, we know we need to split because we all want to do different things, and we're getting tired of playing for these crowds that are so loud we can't even hear ourselves think, you know?
Yeah.
So we want to like go do our own thing. And George was like, I really want to go be a farmer in India and play sitar and do stuff like this, like benefit concerts.
Yeah, well, speaking of all this, it's really interesting because, you know, the concert for Bangladesh, same year, same day as this article we just talked about, the newly independent Bangladesh. I wonder, like, would these be related by any possibility? Like, this is way coincidental.
A celebrity appearance can go a long way, bro. Celebrity endorsements are huge.
Yeah. Well, but were they that big as they are? You know, they're not as big as they are today.
Oh no, yeah. Well, nowadays we have like a whole nother set of tools to promote that stuff, so people know about it, right? Like social media and promoting and everything like that, like technology.
Yeah, definitely. But I was just wondering, like, what would the poll have been back then? You know, there definitely would have been, but like that is really interesting. These two things.
Well, people are only getting their information from like TV, you know. So
yeah,
best way to
But anyway, let's move on up to actually. This is interesting, this other 73, if you want to read that one as well.
For the first time, graduates studying from home with the Open University receive their degrees.
Huh. Okay. So, like, what is this? A predecessor towards, like, what was it? South Carolina University or whatever? Like many online universities and everything?
Mm-hmm.
So...
University of Samoa? An online course?
University of Samoa, holy crap.
Yeah,
But
some
no,
people are.
did you hear about that one guy who got a PhD for his dog? Like to prove how
No.
ridiculous online degrees are. Yeah, he went on. He made an account for his dog, and he took courses. He did the test, and he got a degree for his dog. So his
was the
dog
de-
is a certified doctor, or whatever.
What is it? What kind of doctor is this dog? A proctologist? What kind of doctor would a dog want to be?
It would be a dogter.
Ah.
Or maybe a veterinarian. So. Oh my God! Pete says here, John Wilkes Booth celebrity endorsement blew Lincoln's mind. Holy shit! Oh my God! Speaking of Lincoln, though, isn't it weird that he's the only president on the coin to be facing the other way? If you look at a penny, a nickel, a quarter, a dime.
And he's the only president that's on a coin that's also brown too.
Well, that's because of copper.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, they're not even made with copper anymore. It's too expensive.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're not fully copper, but the outside coating is copper still, right?
No, I think it's just the pennies are made with zinc, and then they just spray it with copper.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's
It's not
plated with
in-
copper. It's not copper fully. It's just an outside.
1982. 1982 was the last year pennies were made from copper.
Oh, okay.
But do they still have a copper plating? Like, is there still a?
No, I think it's just paint, right?
He's correct. It's zinc. It's a special type of zinc alloy.
Huh? So there's not even
only-
any form of copper in there anymore? Huh? That's weird.
The only metal coin that is worth something is a nickel. It's made
Right.
with nickel.
Yeah.
They still make nickel with nickel?
Yes, I know because I'm allergic to it, and I handled a lot of them and started breaking out. I was like, "What
Oh
the
my
hell?"
gosh.
I'm allergic to nickel too. I couldn't wear my class ring. I was wearing it for a while, and all of a sudden, my fingers started getting itchy, and I looked at it, and all the skin was being dissolved. I'm like, what the hell? And
I wonder how
so it's
I wonder how
genetic.
common
I'm
that is.
allergic to
'Cause
nickel
isn't there like a nickel shortage going on right now, and Elon is telling people to mine more nickel? Or is that a different?
I have no idea.
think-
But anyway, let's get back on track with this history here. 1973. Where is even our I have so many tabs open. Here we go. This one. 1973. A gas tank on Staten Island exploded, causing 40 people to die. Jeez, man, that's not good. And then 1977, we have the 20th hat trick in Islander history for Bobby Nystrom. Okay, whatever. 1978, Soyuz 27 launched, carrying 2 cosmonauts to Salyut 6 space station. Pretty cool. And then 1981, we have the Salvadorian Civil War. The FLMN launched its first major offensive, gaining control of most of the Morazan and Chalatenango departments. All right. Were we talking about Salvador or something? No, we were talking about Somalia. That's right. Never mind. But then 1981 as well, John Severin set a 100-mile unicycle speed record at 9 hours and 21 minutes. Unicycle speed record. I'm gonna let that sink in here really quick.
That is a lot of good posture. Holy crap!
I know.
That's crazy.
Not only did he run, not only did he do 100 miles on a unicycle, but he did it fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's different size unicycles people use, and some people are really into that. Interesting thing you just scrolled over. If you don't mind going back up for a second. No, a little bit more. Actually, I don't care about this. Negative 72 degrees Fahrenheit, 27.2 degrees
17.
Celsius. Oh, negative 17, excuse me. 27.2 degrees Celsius. In 1982, in Bremer, Grand Prix equals UK record. So it's the coldest it's been in UK.
Dang. Going back to the nickel thing a little bit, actually, Castro says there's about 20 cents worth of nickel in a nickel. So wow. So not only because we all know that pennies, it costs more than a penny to make a penny, but now nickels are worth more than their denomination. That's weird.
That's pretty wild.
Dude,
it's also because nickel is there's a shortage of nickel going on right now. Even Elon is telling people, hey, open up more nickel mines, please mine more nickel.
You know, I'm wondering, like, you know, when is there going to be like some kind of black market underground where people like start melting down the actual nickels and they're going to get a return in their investment and higher profits because the nickel is a 5-cent coin piece, but there's more than 5 cents worth as about 20 cents, so you can make a killing off of that.
Well, also, a lot of the big nickel mines are in Russia, and who do we have an embargo with right now? So.
Okay. If Russia always has a hand in something, doesn't it? Sorry, what's up, Ghost?
Big nickel. Is big nickel a thing now? Like big pharma?
Probably.
Like, what the fuck?
Like, you know, hashtag Nickelgate, am I right? You know? So, but anyway, what do we got here in 1984? Is this even in here? No, it's not. So, actually, maybe it's this. Yeah, it is. So, I have a much longer article for this. 1984, the United States Holy See relations. The United States and Holy See, the Vatican City, re-established full diplomatic relations after almost 117 years, but Vatican City wasn't around 117 years ago. It started in 1940 whatever, or 1930 something with Benito Mussolini. But anyway, the Vatican, I guess, re-established full diplomatic relations after almost 117 years, overturning the U.S. Congress's 1867 ban on public funding for such a diplomatic envoy. Huh. Yeah, separation of church and state, which is not in our bylaws, but it was written as a note from, I think, Benjamin Franklin or something, you know? Now, you want to know something really interesting about that?
What's that?
My voting place, now, you know, granted, I've voted in, you know, multiple places. You know, there's been houses in the neighborhoods that have opened up for voting and everything, but our standard voting place for our area is in a church! Separate of church and state, my ass! Like,
same. Yeah. Any public building they can get their hands on, whether it's a fire station, church, school.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to you, Mr. MTM. Do you want to read this one here?
In 1984, yes, Bulgarian Tupolev 134 crashes at Sofia Airport in Bulgaria, and 50 die.
Yikes. Oh. And,
the famous "Where's the Beef" commercial airs.
Oh, where?
In 1984.
Oh, wow.
1984. Clara Peller first asks, "Where's the beef?" in commercial for Wendy's hamburger chain.
Huh. Now I want a hamburger. Damn. Like,
Oh yeah.
like, what is that? Almost. Actually, that's 40 years ago. Holy crap! That's 40 years ago today. And the commercial is still working. I'm now hungry for a hamburger. So. God.
That's marketing for you.
Yeah, it is. 1985 here. Okay. Well, you can read this, but I have a more extended information of this article. But you want to read this? 1985.
Daniel Ortega is inaugurated as president of Nicaragua for the first time.
Yep. Yeah, as it says here from another source, in 1985, Sandinista Daniel Ortega became president of Nicaragua and vowed to continue the transformation to socialism and alliance with the Soviet Union and Cuba. Uh-oh. U.S. policy continued to support the Contras in their revolt against the Nicaraguan government. Iran-Contra affair? That sounds about right. Like, would this be... When was the Iran-Contra affair? Let's look this up here. Hold on a second. When was the Iran-Contra affair? I think it was like earlier than that. No, 81 through 86, so I think this might have something to do with that. Oh. Because they said Contras.
Right.
So, wow, I had no idea. Because like, Iran is, you know, in the Middle East, and Nicaragua is in, like, what, Central South America? Right? Where is Nicaragua? Hold on a second. Where is Nicaragua? Central America, I was right. So there we go. So wow. We are here too? What do you mean, Ghost? Yeah, like we are everywhere. We're on YouTube, we're on Rumble, we're all over the place. We're like a disease. Hold on a second. Ghost just said, Oh, sup, Rumble Chat. It took me way too long to figure out where Castro was commenting. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, he's up with the cool kids up in the YouTube chat here. Yeah. So, welcome. What else do we got here? In 1989, the LA Kings center Wayne Gretzky became NHL's all-time leading scorer in combined regular season and playoff points. 4 assists in a 5-4 home win over Edmonton brings in total to 2011. One more than Gordie Howe. Hey. And actually, I want to read this 86 one here really quick as well. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, definitely an NBA legend here. Of the Los Angeles Lakers, scored his 34,000th career point during 124 to 102 win over the Indiana Pacers. The only NBA player to reach the milestone at that time, holds the career record until last year, 2023. Wow. So Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, like, one of the greatest, names in all of basketball history.
KHA.
Yeah. Up there with, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, well, what's his face, the white guy who's like the logo of the NBA, the guy doing the jump, whatever his name is.
You're not thinking of Larry Bird, are you?
No, it wasn't Larry Bird. Larry Bird came after. Hold on a second. Who
is that?
The NBA logo? Hold on a second. Why is it not telling me? Images, maybe? Story of the NBA logo? Whoever the hell this guy is. Like, it was a white dude. The Loon would know. So, Alan Siegel? I don't know. Anyway, let's move on up. Okay, we did 89, 1990. Oh, geez. Here we go. You want to take this one? This is pretty big.
1990. China lifts martial law imposed after the Tiananmen Square massacre in 89, 1 year earlier.
What are you talking about? What massacre in 89? Nothing happened. No, absolutely nothing happened. I have no clue.
CCP's so wonderful, so good. Nothing bad happened.
Please give me a good social credit score. No, but anyway, looks to be off main source here, but 90 as well. Time Warner was formed by the merger of Time Inc. and Warner Communications. So here we go, the birthday of Time Warner.
Did you talk about the other thing that happened in 1990 right there? Les Miserables.
Go for it.
Open at Les Miserables, very, very famous musical and movie, opens at the Mechanic Theater in Baltimore.
Baltimore. Yeah. What else do we got here? This is interesting. Oh, huh.
Japan ends the routine fingerprinting of all adult ethnic Koreans. Yeah.
Huh.
That rivalry has been going on for a while too. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
That well, Japan is like people that left China. A lot of people in Japan are people that left China to do their own thing, and then Korea is a bunch of people that left Japan to go back to the mainland, actually.
Like a lot of Koreans were abducted, especially female Koreans were abducted by the Japanese during their occupation. And actually, like, what a lot of people don't know is how North Korea really got its start, as far as like economy-wise and everything. There was a bunch of like opium and other like drug manufacturing things in, Korea, mainly, North Korea to my knowledge, that were left over after Japanese occupation. And the Norks just said, oh, this is ours now, and they've been, drug peddlers ever since. So, like, that's probably, like, honestly, like, when we think about all of the, what's the horrible drug that's been killing people from China recently? Like,
fentanyl.
Yeah, like, I think a lot of that may be coming from North Korea, because we all know that, China and North Korea are in bed together. So, Jerry West, thank you. Thank you, Ghost. Jerry West.
Is the name of the guy, yeah.
Is the NBA logo guy, yes.
Yeah. I was just looking at the Wikipedia page. It incorporates a silhouette of Jerry West based on a photo by Wen Roberts.
Yes. Jerry West. Thank you, Ghost. Awesome. Moving
I
on up.
couldn't
What
type
else do we
fast
got
enough.
here? Sorry, what?
I couldn't type quickly to get it out.
No worries, you got it out. Oh. What do we got here in 99, M?
In
I mean 92. Sorry.
I can't see because you're actually not scrolled down that far.
92. I meant 92. My brain.
Okay.
Like,
The 8th Soap Opera Digest Awards, Days of Our Lives wins.
all right. We all know Days of Our Lives. So.
Mhm.
Oh. Okay.
What else are we doing here?
Do you want to read this one or do you want to read the next one? Because this one is like, what the hell?
Oh my gosh. Stephen Flattery in 93, and Lynn Arfen's musical My Favorite Year, adapted from the 1982 film starring Evan Pappas, Tim Curry, Andrea Martin, and Lane Kazan, closes at Vivian Beaumont Theater in New York City after 37 performances and the Tony Award for Martin.
All right.
And then in 1994, the trial of Lorena Bobbitt, who cut off her husband's penis, begins. Damn. What did he do to make her that mad?
I mean, like, I've heard of losing your head, but this is a whole nother scenario here, Like, that guy, he really got shafted, didn't he? Yikes. Like, he's like, oh, go ahead, do it. You don't got the guts, no balls. Oh, no, well, now you're the only one with balls.
Oh my gosh.
No. Yikes. Anyway,
case to
moving on up to
follow.
1996, Israel freed hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. Okay. At least they did that, so that's pretty cool. Alleged sexual abuse. Okay, well, I mean, I guess that's a way to solve the problem? Question mark. But I don't know. That still seems a bit too extreme for me. I don't know. But anyway, we also have she did it in his sleep. Well, yeah, he's not going to stand there and let it happen while he's awake. Pete, come on. You're a man too. Like, you know this. 1997, we have the first comet of 1997 discovered. Comet 1997 A1. Cool. And 97 as well, the Dow Jones provide $295 billion to settle breast implant suits. Okay, so just talking about this, let's get back into the end. Somebody cuts off a guy's genitalia, nobody bats an eye. Somebody cuts off a woman's boob, then we have a freaking national uprising. Why do men not get the love and attention that women do?
Yeah, they should have called Saul Goodman. That's the problem.
Better call Saul.
Yeah.
So, why are men staying with crazy women? Because you're all crazy. All of
Your
you.
Honor, Your Honor, my client just wanted some good head. Okay, is that a crime?
Oh my God. We're gonna get deplatformed on YouTube any second now. Don't even have to talk about Epstein. No, we're just cracking jokes about penises, and that's what did us in. No. She left the house and threw his member into a field. At least it wasn't that
Check
story.
your status.
What's up?
Still green? Check your status on YouTube. Are you green still? Or are you red or yellow?
I am. I don't know.
Yeah,
You talking about monetization? We're not monetized. Like, we don't do this. We don't make a dime. We just do this for the.
You still get limited viewing for demonetized videos, no?
Whatever. I don't care. Like, Rumble is gonna topple YouTube anyway, and YouTube's gonna be the cause of it. So, yeah.
That's true. Good point.
Yeah. I don't really give a damn. Anyway, what else do we got here? 1999. I know we're going over, like, we're skipping over some really cool articles, but this just,
I think you talked about that.
This just enforces my point. Anybody watching this, please go and look at this source yourself. Like, we're just reading a couple things to get you interested. But what do we got here? You said this earlier.
Woke up this morning. Got yourself a gun. Because in 1999, The Sopranos starring James Gandolfini as mobster Tony Soprano debuts on HBO. Oh, man.
Rest in peace.
Great, fantastic show. Wonderful performance for him. So many great quotes.
Never saw it.
No.
I never saw it either, but I've seen clips, and, from what I've seen, it's really cool. One of my favorites... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, there's just so many That was a really good year for TV because The Wire came out too.
Hmm.
That's a really great show as well. 2000s, between 1999 and 2000 was a really great year for TV and film.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Moving on up to 2005, a mudslide occurred in La Conchita, California, killing 10 people, injuring many more, and closing the Highway 101. That's the PCH, right? The 101.
yeah, it's the main coastal corridor between San Francisco and LA. It's like
Yeah.
the main route.
The Pacific
yeah.
Coast Highway, the PCH. Yeah, right here. The main, as you said, the main coastal corridor. Well, you were just reading it for 10 days. Wow, that's not good.
I mean, that's a lot to clean up.
Yeah,
The mudslide is big enough to kill 10 people.
yeah.
The driving there, I just happened to be there in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Oh, I mean, wasn't there a news article recently? Was it in San Francisco where somebody 5 people died in some car overturning or something? Or
I have
I
to
don't
double
know.
check that. I don't know. Go back up for a second. 2006, the 32nd People's Choice Awards. Johnny Depp and Sandra Bullock win Motion Picture, and Ray Romano and Jennifer Garner win TV because, as we know, everybody loves Raymond.
yeah. Well, it's kind of weird. Like they have Johnny Depp and Sandra Bullock first, but then they have the pictures of the other 2 people down here.
Well,
Like-
Johnny Depp and Sandra Bullock are both a bit controversial people now.
Oh, yeah.
Sandra Bullock.
But we have here a off-main source article. In 2007, a general strike began in Guinea in an attempt to get President Lassana Conte to resign. All right. Oh. Then 2013, over 100 people died. It's not even in here. Actually, was this? Oh, wow. This is. You want to take this one? This is. This says something different than what I have.
2013, 81 people are killed and 120 are wounded by a twin bombing in Quetta, Pakistan.
Yeah, from what I have here, it says over 100 people died and 270 were injured in several bomb blasts in the Quetta area of Pakistan. So I wonder if they discovered more deaths or if they're just fudging the numbers to push some kind of agenda now, because now I have some historical discrepancies here. It's obviously the same event, you know?
Right, yeah.
So, that's odd. But, wow. So,
Wow, another making me depressio, huh?
I'm sorry.
2015, 72 people are killed and 169 hospitalized after a mass poisoning of beer with crocodile bile at a funeral in Mozambique. Wow.
Wow. That's...
Crocodile bile, huh? That's
They're out there drinking crock of shit. Like a crock of shit.
yeah, a crock of shit.
A literal crock of shit. No.
This beer tastes like shit. Oh wait, yeah.
Well, we also have in 2015, 57 people were killed after an oil tanker collided with a passenger coach outside of Karachi in Pakistan. A passenger coach? Like a coach boat? Or is there such a thing as a coach boat? Or?
Sometimes people, their car. This is like a thing that people do in the Middle East. Their car will break. Maybe that's what they mean. Is like your car breaks down, and they just get like a donkey to pull the car, so that you can still use the cabin of the car, but it's not. There's no engine in it. So.
Okay, but how would that cause 57 people to die when an oil tanker collided with that? Like, what? I'm confused.
Yeah,
Like,
I could be wrong.
well, I mean, no, like, you know, you're right, but it's just like, what did this, you know, I'm just gonna look this up here really quick. Like, let's see what it even says. Let's see, a bus.
Oh, it's a bus.
Okay, so that's what it's.
Makes more
But still,
sense.
how the fuck is an oil? Or wait, is this not a boat oil tanker? Like, is this a truck oil tanker? Like, but this one's talking about a ship collision at Karachi port. But this is Karachi. Okay, well, if anybody can figure out more about this, we just don't have the time. We're already over our hour, so we gotta get moving here.
Okay, we gotta move along here.
What do we got here in 2018? Oh, this guy.
CEO Dunkalore, born in 1964, Jeffrey Bezos. Net worth passes $100 billion. 2018, Jeff Bezos becomes the second man worth $100 billion as his wealth hits $106 billion due to a rise in Amazon share price. Come
Oh,
on,
of course.
Jeffrey, you can do it. Come on now, put your back into it. Pave the way, show us how. Look at you then, look at you now.
Wouldn't that have something to do with his support of the $15 minimum wage thing? Because, like, you know, obviously that's going to give him a lot of points in the PR campaign. But as I said before, it wasn't that he was supporting the $15 an hour minimum wage because, oh, he loved his employees. No, he knew that his competitors couldn't afford it. So he was using, like, oh, good feelings to bump off everybody opposed to him. Like, what a monster.
There's a couple rich people. Mark Cuban actually has discussed this, how the minimum wage should be raised at a national level to prevent homelessness, actually.
I have a better idea. Instead of having a minimum wage, and I'll let you talk here in a second, Ghost, instead of having a minimum wage, we should have a maximum wage. You know? There should be a limit to how much people can make. You know? Like Congress. They're making, like how many hundreds of thousands of dollars do they make a year for just sitting with their thumb up their ass and they only work for 2 days? So, anyway, what were you going to say, Ghost?
I was going to say Congress should be paid by the hour if minimum wage stays around.
What did I just say? You know? Like, I agree.
Yes. Same thing, reversed said, sorry.
Yeah, no, like, you know, saying the same thing with different, you know, points of articulation, I guess. But, like, yeah.
So what happens when you raise minimum wage, you drop the value of your coin? So way back when minimum wage was like a penny was worth a shitload of money. And then as soon as it went up, the value of a penny dropped to zero. It resets your zero value.
Yeah. I mean, we're heading towards, like, what was it, Zimbabwe, where they had, like, billions of dollars to buy a loaf of bread or something? Like,
right, exactly. So that's what they're doing.
Mark Cuban's argument is that if all companies have to pay the same minimum wage, then everyone has to pay by the same rules on a national level. And then if someone's not able to pay for themselves, then that person has to go and get government services. And then the people that are working a regular job have to pay that in taxes. But then other people that can't get those minimum wages, that government service, have to end up being homeless.
Yeah.
Is the argument.
Yeah, and before I go on my one of my classic rants here, Pete's here says Congress makes $174,000 a year. $174,000 a year to work for how often do they work? Like, they're off at least half a year, right? Like, I don't know what Congress does. Like, do they go in every day, or do they only go in session for like a couple months and then they have the rest of the year off and they're just sitting on their ass making all that money off of us taxpayers, you know? But no, like to coincide with your point, MTM, my dad, who owns his own business, he does something that companies just don't do anymore. He has the mentality of paying his employees first. What a concept. Like, he literally makes less than a minimum wage because by the time it gets down to him having to be paid, because he pays his employees, he pays, you know, he pays his debts, he gets the stuff done. And then when it gets down to him, the last on the totem pole, if there's anything left, it's not much, you know? Like, so what a concept, paying your employees, huh? Am I right? Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. But anyway, moving on up, what do we got here in 2019?
Canadian astronomers report fast radio burst, FRBs, of probable extragalactic origin. One repeating 6 times at the Chime Observatory in British Columbia.
Wow. That's pretty big right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it could just be like magnetic hiccups from a dying star or something, but still, like, you know, something that's repeating 6 times, like, that's a little weird.
Maybe it's an alien who really wants to get on the Joe Rogan podcast. He's like, let me on.
Hold on a second. Since you mentioned that, like, I have got to bring up this video, alien.
Yeah.
Here it is.
That's why I referenced it, because I was thinking about that.
Let me play this for you.
Yes.
Yes. So much wind in that video. That's exactly how I'd expect him to react too, just like. Like,
And then right after he'd be like, "So have you ever done DMT before?"
what?
Oh, no, that's hilarious.
Anyway, moving on up, 2019 as well. Oceans warming faster than previously thought due to fossil fuel burning, according to data published in journal Science. Propaganda, 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 and propaganda. So, with a side of propaganda. Would you like some propaganda on that? So, yeah. But also, we have Lady Gaga apologized for working with R. Kelly in light of docuseries, Surviving R. Kelly, docuseries.
Docuseries, yeah.
Yeah, docuseries, Surviving R. Kelly. Yeah, R. Kelly didn't age well. You know? Oh.
No, not at all.
No. And then also in 2019, a 13-year-old U.S. girl, is it in here? No, it's not. This is off main source. 13-year-old U.S. girl Jamie Kloss was found alive in Gordon, Wisconsin, having been kidnapped 88 days earlier from her parents' home whilst they were murdered. Wow. Like, that girl deserves some hugs right now, because that is awful beyond my comprehension. Like, her parents are dead and she got kidnapped and she's been missing for 88 days? Like, wow. God. Jeez, man.
Probably another Ohio serial killer.
God.
Always fucking Ohio.
It's always been Ohio? Always has been. So,
Oh no.
yeah.
Symphony number 12. In 2019, Philip Glass's Symphony number 12, Lodger, based loosely on David Bowie's 1979 album Lodger, premiered with the Los Angeles Philharmonic conducted by John Adams at the Walt Disney Concert Hall in Los Angeles, California. Yeah, Philip Glass is quite a character, quite a creative, I have to say. Seeing him live is quite a trip.
Yeah. I'll take this one here because it's a little just depresso espresso. I don't want to do that to you again, Mr. MTM. So 2021, the United States recorded more than 3,000 deaths a day for the first time, reaching 3,249 specifically, passing 375,000 deaths in total a day later. Yikes. So, and I wonder if that's more propaganda involving a certain something, you know, but yeah. But what do we got here?
Oh no, it's the worst thing that could have happened ever in the history of 2021. The PGA of America post 2022 PGA Championship from me, Donald J. Trump, the National GC at Bedminster, New Jersey, just days after the supporters of President Donald Trump peacefully protested at the U.S. Capitol. That's all they were doing. They just wanted to show that, and the media made it a big deal, okay? They took away my championship that I rightfully deserved. I'm a great golfer. I have a great drive, okay? If you want a great president, look for a president who's got a great drive, okay? Because your drive on the golf course is going to affect your drive in office, okay?
Yep. And some would say he's a hole-in-one. So, yeah. Ooh, what is this here, though? I'll let you read. These are all stuff I gotta add now.
2022 cryptocurrency Binance CEO.
Yeah, Binance. Maybe
That might be a typo.
It might be a typo.
CEO Changpeng Zhao, now one of the world's richest billionaire financer. Maybe it's.
Oh, okay.
Now one of the world's richest billionaires
Bitcoin finance.
Bitcoin financer, yes. So he's now one of the world's richest billionaires with a net worth of 96 billion, according to Bloomberg. Wow.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yes,
Oh.
you lost $200 worth of Bitcoin. It's somewhere in storage. A drive. I got it in 2001.
I heard about that. 2022, the U.S. Mint issues quarter coins commemorating poet Maya Angelou, the first black woman to be depicted.
All right. It's pretty cool. Maya Angelou, I like her. She's cool.
She's a great author. Yes.
Yeah. And we don't have to read about this guy, do we? Like, isn't he
No.
one of the attention whores?
Yeah. Isn't there anything else?
That's it.
Before this, that's it. Alrighty.
You want to get into bursts and deaths, or do you want to wrap us up?
I don't have the
Well, I can just do this here really quick, but like, I have it scripted, so like, let's see. I'm just gonna go over what I have on script really quick.
Go ahead.
Roy Disney, Walt Disney's brother, born Roy E. Disney, on this date in 1930. He was born today. Frank Sinatra Jr. 1944. George Foreman, the boxer and the guy of the George Foreman and Girl, 1949. Happy birthday. As for deaths, what do we got here? Let's see here. Samuel Colt, Colt's Manufacturing Company, the gun guy, 1862, died on this date. Let's see here. Buffalo Bill, the U.S. soldier hunter. We all know about Buffalo Bill, 1917. Coco Chanel, 1971, French fashion designer of Chanel. So, what else do we got here? Roy DeMeo, part of the Gambino crime family, so 83. David Bowie, Robert Jones, 2016. And then like Tom Lucan, the U.S. House of Representatives from Ohio in 2018. So, like, just to name off a few. But yeah, like, once again, I advise people like to go to these sources to look things up themselves. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we glossed over, a lot of stuff that we didn't even touch. Like, there's so much history that happens on a daily basis. So much articles on a daily basis. It is almost insurmountable.
It is truly fascinating.
Yeah.
That concludes the show. Once again, check the underbar description for any links you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. For your daily dose of past events daily, we stream every day at 11 a.m. Pacific time.
Which is 12 noon Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. And we have other shows, by the way. We don't just do this history show almost daily. We have a news show, Notable Events, Weather, and Sports, every Friday at 3. We have The Edge of Disclosure, talking about UFOlogy, paranormal, conspiracy, science, tech stuff. Saturday at 3, we have Kicking the Peanut, where we just talk about whatever the hell we want. At 3 on Sunday, and then of course Omni Kitchen and Inosh and all that stuff. But if you want to catch us for the live streams, if you're on the West Coast, it's 11 and 3 all for the Mountain, 12 and 4 watch us for more, Central 1 and 5 for the Contrive, and East 2 and 6 for your fix. For all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander.
I'm MTM.
And we are joined by Ghost, and I want to say special thanks to our chat here, Jacob Peets, Jacob Castro, Ghost once again. And anyone else who's watching this in any form, be it have been live or any time in the space-time continuum, once again, thank you for watching. So until you catch us next time, whenever that is, wherever that is, until then, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe.